In the spring of 1862, thousands of miles from Richmond, the Confederate dream shimmered across the deserts of New Mexico. At its helm, a silver-haired general with bold ambition, a gift for invention, and a growing dependence on whiskey. What began as a daring expedition ended as one of the most disastrous campaigns of the Civil War. This is the story of General Henry Hopkins Sibley, visionary, inventor, and broken commander of the Confederacy's mirage in the West. Henry Hopkins Sibley was born on May 25, 1816, in Natchitoches, Louisiana. His father, a judge, died early, and Henry was raised by his uncle, George Sibley, a diplomat, Indian agent, and co-founder of Missouri's Lindenwood College. Sibley entered West Point in 1833. He graduated 5 years later, near the bottom of his class, but gained a commission in the U.S. Army. His early military career spanned the Seminole Wars and the Mexican-American War, where he was brevetted twice for gallantry. He served with distinction at Cerro Gordo and Contreras. Later, he joined Albert Sidney Johnston in the Utah expedition against Mormon forces. Though a competent officer on paper, colleagues noted he was sensitive, aloof, and occasionally erratic. Outside of battle, Sibley displayed ingenuity. He invented the conical Sibley tent, easily erected by one man, and the Sibley stove, which heated troops through harsh winters. The U.S. Army adopted them, and later, the British did too. In 1861, as Texas seceded, Sibley resigned his U.S. commission and joined the Confederacy. He pitched a bold plan to Jefferson Davis: raise a brigade of Texans, march into New Mexico, seize Union forts, gold mines in Colorado, and open a Confederate route to California. The Confederate High Command agreed. Sibley's brigade assembled, 2,500 strong, drawn mostly from central and western Texas. In early 1862, Sibley's army crossed into New Mexico. His men were ill-supplied but full of fight. On February 21st, they defeated Union forces at the Battle of Valverde. Yet the key Union stronghold, Fort Craig, held out. Sibley, reportedly indisposed, had turned over command to Colonel Thomas Greene. Many believed he was drunk during the fight. The Texans pushed north, capturing Albuquerque and Santa Fe, but Union resistance stiffened. On March 26, 1862, Sibley's army clashed with Union troops at Glorietta Pass, often called the Gettysburg of the West. Confederates held the field, but their supply train was ambushed and destroyed by Union forces under Major John Chivington. With no food, ammunition, or wagons, Sibley had no choice but to retreat. One Texan noted,
"Our retreat was worse than all the horrors witnessed on the battlefield. We were hungry, ragged, freezing, crawling home like whipped dogs."
Over 500 men died. The rest staggered back to Texas. The Confederate dream of a Western empire evaporated in the desert wind. Sibley blamed supply issues and claimed the retreat would form one of the brightest pages in the history of the Second American Revolution. Few agreed. His men cursed his name. Officers demanded his replacement. He was reassigned to Louisiana. But his drinking worsened. He fell out with General Richard Taylor, who wrote,
Sibley was unfit for duty, incapacitated by drink in the hour of crisis.
He was court-martialed, but escaped serious punishment. After the war, Sibley sought a second act. He joined Egypt's Khedive as a military advisor, but once again, his alcoholism derailed him. He was dismissed and sent home in disgrace. Sibley lived out his final years in Fredericksburg, Virginia, with his daughter. He died in obscurity on August 23, 1886. Buried in the Confederate cemetery, his name rarely appears in Southern memorials. He gave the Confederacy two gifts: a tent that warmed thousands, and a campaign that chilled thousands more. Sibley's name lives on not in glory, but in warning, of ambition unchecked, and of a commander who marched into legend and retreated into ruin.